Detective video games have evolved ever since it was first introduced in the 1980s, from point-and-click adventures like Deja Vu to modern innovative titles like Her Story. Detective games are now a popular genre across all games. This genre can be traced back to classic detective literature. They are fun and engaging to read, especially when the whodunit subgenre came along during the golden age of detective fiction. Whodunit, referring to who has done it, is a writing style that allows the reader to engage in the same process of deduction as the protagonist throughout the investigation of a crime, making them feel like they're also part of the story. When fiction gets adapted into games, players can now become Sherlock Holmes and fully immerse themselves in the world of mystery with advanced visuals, sound design, and interactive gameplay. But the question is, are they really the ones solving the mystery? Oftentimes, literary adaptation has its downside, since most detective games tend to follow a more traditional plot structure with predetermined outcomes. It makes the player feel more like an observer rather than engaging in the actual investigation and solving of the case. This feeling of having control over the gaming experience is called player agency. In game design, player agency refers to the satisfying power to take meaningful action and see the results of one's decisions and choices. This is particularly important in detective games. Players aren't just following the plot, they're analyzing cases, unraveling stories, and piecing together clues. However, in some detective games, players can simply finish the game through trial and error, clicking on every item and dialogue until it triggers the right answer and move on to the next part of the game. So, what can we do to break this narrative inflexibility and bring in player agency? We have already seen in games like Return of the Obra Dinn and Her Story, using non-linear storytelling and investigative mechanics to encourage independent exploration and deduction. But are there any other methods that can be used to tackle this problem? Detective Sarah is a 2D pixel art adventure game I developed in 2023. The story follows our main character, Sarah, on her journey to return a missing puppy. The game features a side-scroller arcade-style gameplay with a mystery to be uncovered. When I was designing Detective Sarah, player agency was essential to the gameplay experience with the consideration of 3 key components. Through the integration of narrative fragments and arcade-style mechanics, a reward system is created to bring in player agency. Unlike numerical rewards that are commonly seen in video games like points, story-driven games often replace them with informational or visual rewards like narratives, dialogues, or cutscenes. In Detective Sarah, the player must navigate through obstacles in skill-based challenges and interact with the environment in a way that embodies real detective work. The narrative will then be revealed in portions as players successfully complete each task, motivating them to continue uncovering more of the story. On the other hand, I implemented arcade-style mechanics, which are known to be short and fast-paced. Mechanics such as high scores, best time, immediate feedback, and short play loops are used to create a sense of reward through competitive gameplay. It might seem out of place in a detective game at first, but incorporating elements like timed challenges and reflex-based interactions can add tensions and progressive challenges to the game, ensuring the pacing and difficulty are balanced so that the players would have to keep trying, but at the same time feeling a sense of accomplishment. In this way, these 2 components form a reward loop that encourages the player to actively engage in the detective work, allowing them to fully immerse themselves in the role of a detective. Coming from traditional detective literature, it might seem like detective games need to follow a rigid and linear structure to guide players through the story with a predominantly predetermined outcome. But through experimenting with narrative fragments, arcade-style mechanics, and reward systems, I've discovered that these underutilized elements can work together to provide an opportunity for player agency to emerge. This approach offers a new perspective on how we design interactive mysteries, and I hope this video encourages more game designers and writers to prioritize meaningful player engagement in their future creative work.